What is up? What is going on, everybody? I am back with the Mariners post-game recap. Quick shameless plug before I get started. If you are new here, hit the like button and the subscribe button. If you're enjoying my videos, please hit the like button. It helps me out a whole lot. Even if you're not a Mariners fan, you just want to support the channel. From the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate everyone that does like, subscribes, watches. The views help me too. All those little things help me tremendously. Leave a comment too. Get engaged. Try to respond to every comment. I can. Let me know where you think I'm right, where you think I'm wrong. It's okay if you think I'm wrong. Wouldn't be the first time I've been wrong, especially in regards to sports. Just ask that we keep it civil. Haven't had any issues in the past, but I always just want to, I see that happen in other people's videos. Like, at the end of the day, this is a kid's game we're talking about here. So let's be adults, and there's no reason to get at each other at the end of the day. It's just a sport we're watching. There's more important things in life. Let's not get agitated and irritated with each other. Let's get agitated and irritated with the Mariners tonight as they lose 2-1 to the Texas Rangers, dropping to 17-18 on the season. No offense tonight, the story, and ruining a masterpiece tonight from Logan Gilbert that had a chance to go down in history for a little bit. But again, just the offense deciding to do absolutely nothing tonight and really spoiling a chance for this team to do a couple things tonight. Listen, I don't want to pick on it too much. They're 6-2 now in their last 8 games. They're playing better baseball. Texas is a really good team. They look to be a team that is going to compete for the division, and the Mariners went toe-to-toe with them. That's usually a good sign. Again, it's a one-run game that they lost. The Mariners are now 4-10 in one-run games. I talk about all the time, one-run games can have a lot of bounces and stuff that, cause you to lose them. So, if anything, the Mariners played a pretty even game here against the Texas Rangers and just didn't come out with a W. 6-2 in their last 8. Big picture, they're fine. It stinks that they had a chance to get over 500. Now they're back one under 500. That's probably the most annoying thing about the result of this game is that they can't get to that one game over 500 mark, where it's really nice to get there because you feel like then the season can kind of take off from there. Now, the game itself was very frustrating. Let's start with the pitching. Logan Gilbert was perfect through 6 innings tonight. Had a little hiccup in the 7th inning, gave up a hit to Simeon, struck out Grossman on a borderline pitch, and there were some borderline pitches all around. Umps aren't that great. We need to go to some sort of automated system to call balls and strikes. I'm not going to harp on it every night. It is what it is. I'm also a firm believer, and I don't think there's been a game that the Mariners have lost because of umps. Maybe a little bit Friday, but won't get into that. So Logan gives up a hit to Simeon, a strikeout of Grossman, like I said. Nathaniel Lowe with a base hit. He walked. Who did he walk? He walked Adolis Garcia. Josh Young hits a sac fly, and then Jonah Heim, a base hit. 2-1, Logan comes out, and that was all she wrote, and that was the game. Those 2 runs right there were enough. Logan goes 6 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. Struck out a team record, tying a team record, 7 in a row, tying Luis Castillo from last year, and Mark Langston did it in, I don't remember what year they said he did it in. Gott was great. Trevor Gott, 1 1/3, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Gabe Spire, a perfect 9th inning. No hits, no walks, and a strikeout. Pitching was phenomenal. Logan Gilbert deserved better than a loss today to drop to 1-2. And shame on his offense for not picking him up. There's been too many of these this year. Talked about with George Kirby against Philly. I think there was a Castillo start in there somewhere. It's just, I don't want to say you can't lose these because you can. I mean, it happens. But it's just such a shame to get a great performance like that against a lineup that leads the league in runs scored per game. And you can't go out there and get him a couple more runs. John Gray has not been great this season. He's not. He's been pretty pedestrian. Not a ton of strikeouts so far this year. Had 19 to 14 walks. ERA was in the 4s. He's okay. Again, there's nothing wrong with John Gray necessarily. He's a decent middle to back end guy. You put him in that rotation with Evaldi and then DeGrom and stuff. And yeah, he's perfectly acceptable. I'm not knocking John Gray, but you should be able to scrape out a couple runs against him. There's no reason. I'm not talking about getting 9-10 here. How dare you not blast a pitcher? And Gray was good. His final numbers were good. but they should be able to get 2 or 3. And if they got 2, we'd still be playing baseball. If they got 3, they'd probably win the game. So a really disappointing offensive effort. Started out good. Ty France homered in the bottom of the first inning. Looked like we were going to get that sort of offensive explosion. The Mariners have hit Gray really well last year since he came over to Texas. And then just nothing. They got the bases loaded in the, what inning was it that they load the bases? 4th or 5th? No. Come on. I hate when I hit a button wrong and it just like takes you to something you have no idea where you are. That's scoring. Okay, it was the bottom of the 5th that the Mariners loaded up the bases. I think Caballero singled. No, because Caballero hit 8th. Teo singled. It was a soft line drive. Teo singled. Colton Wong was hit by a pitch. And in between there, what was it that they did? Was Trammell hit by a pitch? No. Caballero had a hit. Yeah, he had the bloop hit to center field. And Teo almost got picked off at second. So Teo singled. Caballero singled. Colton Wong was hit by a pitch. He was oddly hit by a pitch twice in the same spot in the foot. Julio comes up. Bases loaded, 1 out. First pitch, don't play. And I get it. Oh, he kind of hit the ball hard. And I've defended it and defended it. I have. I've sat there and said, Julio's hit the ball hard. He's doing this. It's an out. It's a double play. I'm all for exit velos. I talk about them all the time. You guys can back me up in a test out. I talk about FIP and XFIP all the time. Talk about, run differential and things and WRC pluses. And I'm a firm believer in them. And I think Julio is going to be fine. I do. But I saw someone on Twitter mention that Julio hit that ball hard. I'm tired of it. I don't care. It's get underneath the ball and get me a sac fly. Get me a run there. Make it 2-0. Give a little gap. Give Logan some breathing room. I made a point on Twitter, with Logan Gilbert's perfect game attempt, I enjoyed watching Logan pitch, but I wasn't even sitting there going into 7th going, oh man, perfect game. Come on. I'm just just get this W. Find a way, get me 9 outs, get the W. Because it's 1-0. If this offense could score 4 runs or something, and they were up 3-0, 4-0, then I'd be yeah, I'm sitting down and trying to finish off this perfect game because I feel like the win is pretty much in hand. But at 1-0, you can't enjoy the perfect game because you just want to get the W. Now, I know Felix won the 1-0 perfect game. Couple things there is, 1, yeah, that was frustrating in that game. 2, that Mariners team was already out of it, so it wasn't, it was either perfect game or I don't care if they win or lose at that point. I want this team to win. I want this team to go to the playoffs. Win me games. And it's not just Julio. It's not. It's an easy target because as Julio goes, this team goes. But tonight it was everybody. They had 4 hits. Caballero had half of them. Teo's was a bloop, and Ty's was a home run. Kellen a go for 4. He's cooled off a little bit. He got off to a really hot start. He's hitting the ball pretty hard still, but rough game from Jared. Gino 0 for 4. Cal Raleigh's fighting it too. Julio's taking some of the pressure off Cal, I think, but rough game for Cal. Teo did not have a good game. That strikeout in the 9th inning was horrid. It's Dave Sims made a point that nobody in baseball seems to be getting pitched backwards more than Teo, meaning he's getting breaking balls and fastball counts and fastballs and breaking ball counts. It's because he can't lay off the breaking ball. That's why he's getting pitched like that. That's why they're throwing him those breaking balls with 3-ball counts on him, because he's not laying off of it. That's why Will Smith threw him that 3-2 little slider slurve thing. I don't know what it's classified as, probably a slider, down and away, because Teo's not laying off of it. That was not a very good pitch. It was, listen, I'm not saying I would have, been able to lay off it, but I'm talking about major league players. Teo should lay off that pitch from Will Smith. And if he lays off that pitch, you give A.J. Pollock, who the last few times he's played has hit a couple home runs, a chance to win it. Now, would Pollock have done that? I don't know. Probably not. But give him a chance. At least do that. But no, Teo's flailing at that, and not the first time that he's done that this season. It's been a bunch. So it's all the way across. I'm going to give Taylor Trammell a break, and Caballero, good game. and I'll talk about that in a second. And Colton Wong did reach base twice, hit by pitch. Like, I'll applaud the body sacrifice for a couple base runners from Colton. And it's like with Caballero, like they're getting good performance from a guy that you didn't expect to get anything from. Yet no one else in this lineup can do anything. And I know one of Caballero's hits was a bloop, and like that's kind of lucky. But I mean, somebody do something. Like, and Ty France is starting to heat up. That's good. He was 1 for 3 at the home run. Ty was fine today. I'm not gonna get on him too much. But Gino, come on, like let's get going. Yesterday. Gino, Cal, Teo, Julio, Colton Wong still to an extent. Kelenick's going on a couple weeks now where it hasn't been quite as good, but like he was so hot the first month that I'm kind of going to let it go for Kelenick a little bit, but the rest of them need to get going. Like we are on May 9th now. Like time to start kicking into gear here and get this thing rolling. I lost my train of thought. Oh, I hate that. What was I going to say? Oh, man, I had something all planned out to say, and I forgot it. Say if you guys could help me out, but you can't because you don't know what I was going to say. Holy cow. I had something lined up, and then I switched my train of thought. But, yeah, it's just... And listen, like, these guys are going to be better. And it's just frustrating to watch right now. Like, we're seeing... And I didn't... With Julio, we're seeing how frustrating a player he can be when he's in a cold spell. I know he struggled last April, but we didn't have anything else on Julio. And I think last April, I think as fans of the team, we all kind of felt like we can't put this much pressure on the kid. It's his major league debut, first time up in the bigs. Like we can't expect Julio to be the savior. And then obviously he turned it on, the rest of the year. I think this year we kind of did. There was a lot of people, myself included, that had Julio as an MVP pick. That's still very possible. But now it's kind of like, okay, we have a legitimate superstar. Now we need you. We need you to kind of carry this team. And we're seeing how frustrating it is when Julio's in a cold spell. And he's the type of player that's going to have frustrating cold spells. Probably more, him and Teo, more than anybody on this team. Because they don't take a ton of pitches. Now, Julio can work walks. He does. He doesn't have a terrible eye. But he's very aggressive, which I'm not going to get too much on the first pitch swinging. And the only reason I'm not going to do that is we've seen Julio destroy first pitches. We've seen him be aggressive and it pay off. So I don't want to stand here and go, oh, how dare he not be taking a pitch. And then the next at bat, he comes up and blast a first pitch for a home run. So I don't know if it's so much of the approach, but that approach that Julio has is frustrating when you're slumping. Like Jared Kelenick is someone that more takes a lot of pitches, so when he's slumping, you at least feel like he's battling. I'm not saying Julio's not battling. I think Julio is battling. I think Julio's probably trying too hard right now. He's probably over-trying. But his approach is much more frustrating to watch because it gives off like a vibe that he's just going up there and hacking. And it's not a hack, it's just his approach to it. But it's so frustrating when it's going poorly. And actually, Julio should have grounded in the 2 double plays. He had another one in the 8th that he hit that Nathaniel Lowe bobbled and couldn't hold on to. I think Julio's back is hurting him. I don't know about you guys, but he looks slower going down the line on a lot of these plays. There's some that last year were clear as day he beat out, and this year he's really struggling to beat him out. I think that back is still bothering him a little bit. I wouldn't be shocked if he's playing through it. Another reason I don't want to be too harsh, because I think he is playing through a little pain. Now, I have heard people mention batting order, dropping Julio down. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not a big batting order person. I don't think it really matters all that much. Now, I don't think like you should go Caballero, Trammell, and, assuming everyone's at their like career averages here. I don't think you would go like Caballero, Trammell, Haggerty third, Julio ninth, and that's smart. But I do think at the end of the day, good lineups produce, bad lineups don't, no matter where these guys are batting. Batting order to me is kind of overrated. Now, if moving a guy helps him, and maybe that's psychologically, maybe there is something to it with seeing different pitches that helps, I'm all for it. But I think, I don't want to say Julio's track record is good enough. He's only played 1 year. But I don't know if you necessarily move down. And there's really is anybody in this lineup really showing that they should bat first? I mean, not like Caballero, but let's be honest here. That would be more of a shake up to shake it up than it would actually a smart play. I don't know if, who do you guys think is going to be better over the course of the season? If you'd say starting right now, Julio or Jose Caballero, you're going to take Julio. So does batting Caballero ahead of Julio and giving him more at-bats make sense? Not really, unless you're just shaking it up to shake it up, which, maybe it's time to do that. But I think that you kind of have to ride it with Julio here and just hope that he eventually comes out of it. I don't know. I just don't know if shaking up, because what if you shake it up and he doesn't improve? What if you put him 5th and he still struggles? What if you put him 6th and he still struggles? Then what do? Do you drop down more? Or is there something else going on? The best thing for Julio to do is just to start hitting no matter where he is in the order. So, again, if there is something to it where Julio's I think batting 7th would help me mentally, then I'm all for trying things. But I don't think magically shifting the batting order is going to do anything. It's a batting order. It doesn't, like I said, look at all the great lineups in history. The batting order wasn't, do you think, what's the best Mariners offense of all time? 99 or something, where they had set the home run record or something like that at the time. When you had A-Rod, Griffey, Edgar, Buhner, Blower. I don't think Blowers is there anymore, but what I mean? Dan Wilson, Segui was a good hitter. All those guys in the lineup. Cora. Did it really matter so much where they batted? If Griffey hit 2nd and A-Rod hit 3rd, and Edgar was 2nd and Buhner was 3rd, Griffey was 4th, or A-Rod was leadoff, do you really think that lineup would have been that much different? It still would have scored a lot of runs. It still would have been really good. Do you think the A's lineup right now matters where those guys bat? No, they're bad. So that's kind of my rant on batting order. I just don't think it matters all that much. But if it's something that could mentally help Julio, I'm all for it. Take a deep breath. The team has won 6 out of 8. This is not the end of the world. Like I said, I thought they should have done more against John Gray. And Logan Gilbert deserved a much, much, much better fate than an L tonight. So I hope Logan sleeps well knowing that. But, in general, like I said, this team's won 6 out of 8. They still have a chance next 2 games to get over 500 series win. You've got George Kirby and Luis Castillo going. So you should have the pitching and matchup advantage should be in both games. Texas has announced a starter for Wednesday. So a good chance to win the series and a good chance to hit the next road trip over 500. So from that standpoint, I would take a deep breath. As far as the offense goes, that's from the overall standpoint. As far as the pitching goes, pitching's been fantastic. So no need to breathe on that. We can just enjoy that the pitching's been really good. And that's good because that's coming to fruition. We thought the pitching was going to be a big strength of this team, and so far it definitely has been a big strength of this team. So that's good. The offense, I would take solace in the fact that this team's hanging around 500, and I don't know if any of these guys are hitting even at their career averages. Kelenic obviously is still over his career averages, and Caballero. But other than that, and Taylor Trammell just doesn't have enough sample of at-bats to really get into. But Julio, no. Ty's below. Gino's below. Cal's below. Teo's below. Colton Wong's below. Even off the bench, Pollock, even though he's had a nice little run recently, he's still below. Sam Haggerty's below. Tom Murphy, even below. So that's in that sense, it's okay. Not all, eventually some of these guys are going to get going. Now, there's a chance not all of them do. Maybe Gino, is on the downside. I don't know, but maybe. But some of these guys are going to get going. Julio's too good of a baseball player to not just get hot at some point. Teoscar Hernandez has too much power to not have a stretch where he just goes ballistic here and goes off. Colton Wong is not a 188 hitter. So these guys are going to get going. Gino has too much pop to be at 3 home runs in mid-May. These guys will get going eventually. And if the pitching can stay where it is, being honestly one of the best in baseball, they will be okay. This will be fine. I don't know if I'm convincing you or convincing myself on that. But hit like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Chance to bounce back tomorrow with George Kirby on the mound. So you got to feel good about that. So hopefully this team can win tomorrow, get back to 500, win the series on Wednesday, and get back over 500. Tough loss tonight, but great thing about baseball, there's always a game the next day. Hope everybody has a great Monday night. Enjoy it, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Go M's. Peace.